Peaceful tax demonstrations in New York turn violent. A night of disturbances leaves 4 dead, dozens injured, and a trail of destruction across the city. The London Stock Exchange is down 6% this morning, leading to calls from both the IMF and the Supranational Finance Initiative for governments to crack down on disorder. The chairman of the SFI, Francis Thomas, will be making a statement shortly. I'm Kelly Clark with this CBNN Newsflash. The National Guard has been deployed on the streets of New York to keep order after violent rioters tried to storm the headquarters of the Supranational Finance Initiative. Fighting broke out yesterday afternoon and is continuing throughout the streets of downtown Manhattan. But now, let's go over to Linda O'Neill in New York. Linda, what caused last night's violence?
Kelly, it's difficult to say. It was a march against school closures that was passing in front of the headquarters of the SFI. The reports I have are that an object was thrown out of the upstairs window of the building into the crowd. The crowd surged towards the building and overwhelmed the police line. Fights broke out that the police reinforcements were unable to control, and the National Guard was called in.
We're getting reports that 4 people have been killed.
The authorities are only saying that there have been some injuries. I saw soldiers charging into the protesters. It was very frightening here, and the atmosphere is still very tense.
Thank you, Linda. I'm getting more reports of major disturbances in many cities: Athens, Paris, Madrid, London. We also have unconfirmed reports of an explosion and gunfire at the Fast Lane Naval Base in Scotland. More on that as we get the news. And now we go over to Scott Grebsky in Washington, D.C. Scott, the National Guard has been deployed on the streets of Washington, too?
No, Kelly. These are definitely combat troops here this evening on the streets of
Scott,
Washington.
I have to interrupt you there, as we go now to the offices of the SFI for a statement from Chairman Francis Thomas.
By 0800 hours today, the governments in Washington, London, and Paris were relieved of their duties.
This is a coup?
Excuse me, madam, this is not the time for questions. The Supranational Finance Initiative is now in possession of the launch codes of the nuclear weapons of the United States of America. We are in control of all 4 of the United Kingdom's Vanguard-class submarines. We are in control of the French nuclear force. The financiers and military strategists of the SFI pledge to work ceaselessly to restore economic stability and prosperity for all peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very distressed by the terrible clashes in New York and will not rest until order is established and the insurgents punished. The riots have forced us to temporarily suspend the right to protest. Great changes are happening in the world. A free and prosperous society will emerge from the current chaos, and the Supranational Finance Initiative will spearhead these efforts. Thank you.